So I have a few DeWalt batteries, but I do my research before I purchase them. I have other people that have like 30 batteries, and I know a construction guy that has a lot of batteries. And the construction guy's even going away from these Flexvolt batteries. And the reason is, look at this chart right here. I know this ain't on DeWalt. DeWalt won't admit this kind of stuff, but most companies, say Milwaukee, Makita, all the different brands, they'll have an 8 volt, 20 volt, 40 volt, 60 volt battery, all individual batteries. You don't have this flex volt stuff where you have two voltages in one. And you actually get that voltage and you have a totally different tool, which kind of sucks. And so is DeWalt's way of doing it. So when someone buys a 9 amp hour battery, they're getting the 9 amp in 20 volt. If you do the conversion, if you're buying the Flexvolt, that 9 amp hour battery, if you convert it over to 60 volt, you're only getting 3 amps. And if any of you have them kits that you buy on Black Friday and all them different days, um, when you get it, it comes with a 1 amp. It's a black battery, or it even comes with a 2 amp. I think I have a 2 amp hour right here. Yeah, I have a 2 amp hour, and I'll use that on like little projects. Really, it don't weigh enough to keep a drill up, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. But 2 amp hour battery on a circular saw is not cool. I really don't think it has the torque to bust through a 2x4 or anything. And so a 2 amp would be this. If you're buying the 6 amp hour battery, which is right here, I think it's right here, 6 amp hour battery, $140, and you're getting a 6 amp hour and 20 volt, but you're only getting a 2 amp hour battery in 60 volt. And a 2 amp hour and 20 volt does almost nothing. Like, I guess it works a drill for a little bit. I guess you got an all day drill there, but you really don't have the torque to be using an impact or if you're using a drill driver, hammer drill, sorry, any of that kind of stuff. You really don't have the power. And I have the 10 amp hour 20 volt, which is up in these ranges, and they don't even offer a 60 volt 10 amp hour. And the 10 amp hour 20 volt, oh my gosh, on an impact, it's so nice. So the only time you would really want the torque is like a circular saw. You always want that torque to keep going, and none of these really get up to that. Also, I have a friend that has a weed ear. This is the Flexvolt weed ear. Now, I don't know why they call it Flexvolt because it's only 60 volt. It will not let you put a 20 amp hour battery in there. Or 20 amp hour. 20 volt battery in there. It is strictly 60 volts. So I don't know why it says Flexvolt because really it should just say 60 volt and then you know to plug it in. And then here's the weed eater I have, just a 20 volt brushless trimmer, and I can put a 4 amp hour battery in there and do my entire yard. My buddy, he puts in his 6 volt, or where's this thing at? He puts in his 6 amp hour battery, which pulls out a 2 amp hour on 60 volt, and he can only use it for 5-10 minutes. I can go, gosh, forever with my 4 amp hour battery, and I put a 10 amp hour in there because it adds a little bit of weight and it kind of offsets it. It's pretty nice. But you can't put a 20 volt into this. You have to only put a Flexvolt battery in there because the Flexvolt batteries have this little notch. See how this is all smooth right there? I'll look away from it, but right in this area it's smooth and rounded. When you look at the Flexvolt, see there's a little pin right there? That pin does something weird and you can't put these into the Flexvolts. So when you buy this, you're really losing. Look at the price difference even. Somehow you're paying more to get less. Even when you buy these batteries, this battery right here is $145, and then you look at the 10 amp hour, and you can get the 161, and you will have a saw all day long. I'm really looking into the people that use a saw and the impact. Them are two things where you just want the torque. And most of the time, I want a battery that's going to last me all day, so I don't have to keep charging it, looking over at the charger, and then the battery's too hot, and you gotta wait for it to cool off. But when you're wanting the Flexvolt to actually work is when you're using that impact. But none of these three are really going to give you that much torque compared to if you just used a 20 volt at that price. And I went ahead and instead of paying this price even, I went on eBay. And I don't know why it looks like this. Hold on, sorry about that. I bought one that comes with a charger for $100. I bought it brand new, and you can even click on this. This guy may say what the date is on it. Shoot, that one's nice, brand new. He has a bunch of them, so you gotta be iffy when it comes in. Look at the date right there. Look at that date when it comes in. Make sure it hasn't been tempered with the screws right there. But $89 for a 10 amp hour battery, and this thing lasts forever. And if you guys have one of them DeWalt fans, oh my gosh, it lasts all day. But this outbeats all of them Flexvolts. This thing is amazing, and it'll last all day, and you'll have your torque. I've used a Flexvolt circular saw, and I do not notice the difference between a Flexvolt battery in there and when I'm just using my normal 20 volt cordless circular saw. But when you're buying a battery, Flexvolt, just remember when you buy the 6 amp hour 12, which it'll say 6 amp hour on this one I was just looking at. 6. There's your 6 amp hour battery. It doesn't tell you anywhere on that battery that you're not getting 6 under the 20. You're only getting 2. And no one likes the 2 20 volts. So why would you want a 260 volt? So keep that in mind. DeWalt's doing this basically to save money. I think it's a good idea, but don't charge us this much more for a darn battery. It's just not worth it. And the batteries are bulky. I can't stand them. I really like the straight 20 volt. I don't know what, and then they got like a 40 volt too. I don't know what's going on there. But hopefully this helps people understand why when they're using a weed eater, especially, because you really use a whole battery when you're using a weed eater. Why the flex volts are just kind of crap. And along with the mowers, a lot of people are getting the mowers and thinking, oh my gosh, they bought the flex mower, which is even funnier. They bought the Flexvolt mowers. Let's look that up real quick. The Flexvolt mowers, where Amazon's a pain in the ass when I'm trying to find something. The Flexvolt mowers, so they put Flexvolt batteries in there, but the max Flexvolt battery right now is a 5 amp hour. So you're cutting your cutting time in half compared to these one. I don't know where the 12 amp hour is. I haven't really looked into that. Yeah, there's your 10 amp hour. So if you put two 10s in there, you're at 20 amp hour. But if you put the biggest flex in there, you're only getting 10 amps. So you're cutting your time in half. So when you go under these videos, where's one that's been out there? There's one that has a lot of bad reviews, or at least it's low. But these people, you can't always read the reviews right because they're using flex volts. You put a 20 in there, the good reviews are the people that are putting 20s in there and they stinking last for 20, 30 minutes. I think one guy said it was like 45 minutes. 5 minutes he was doing it. It does take longer to charge them though. So hopefully this helps somebody out, especially coming up on Black Friday when they're going to be selling some weird sales with their batteries and all that. Just don't be bedoozled into them flex volts unless that's what you want. You're really not getting much. Right here's the specs again. Even when you're paying $400 for a battery, you're only getting 5 amp hour, which isn't much torque. Longevity, yes, but not much torque. Thanks for watching.